I think the biggest thing right now is I think the easy way out is just ask for a trade. There might be a time, maybe. I really haven't thought about this, but when I signed that contract, I'm loyal. I want to win the championship here.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. No one cares about you.
One of the greatest primes of all time, yet nothing to show for it. This is how Mike Trout became the most wasted talent in MLB history. Mike Trout's professional career would begin in 2009, with people already doubting him, with a total of 21 MLB teams passing on him in the draft. But 2 years later, when he made his debut, those 21 teams would look like absolute fools, because in his first full season, he dominated MLB pitching. Not only did he have the highest WAR for a rookie ever, but he also led every single player in WAR. And with good reason. A 326 batting average, a 963 OPS, and 30 home runs, he was a superstar. A lot like today's sponsor, Rival Fantasy, who created a new experience in fantasy baseball. It's called Best Ball. You draft your team once a week, and a rival will do the rest. Your starting lineup will be automatically adjusted to your top scorers for the week. Let's say that you're a busy person, and you don't have that much time to go and manage your team. Well, that would be good news for you, because you no longer have to invest your time into roster management. All you have to do is draft weekly. Oh, and did I mention that you will win free money if you are a top 3 performer in your league? There are 6-team drafts, 9-team drafts, and even more. Make sure to sign up using the link in the description to get $25 for free to spend on Rival Fantasy. Enjoy the rest of the video. Trout would unanimously win Rookie of the Year, but the award that he deserved more than any other was the MVP award. He was in a very close race with Tigers superstar Miguel Cabrera. Trout was better than Cabrera defensively and on the base path, but Cabrera led Mike Trout in most of the offensive statistics, which ultimately led to Cabrera winning the MVP over young Mike Trout. But regardless, it would be labeled as an incredible rookie year. What did he not do? He was a first-time All-Star. He led the American League in stolen bases. He led all of MLB in runs scored. He won the Silver Slugger Award, and he joined the 30-30 Club. Plus, the team around him wasn't actually that bad, as they did win 89 games, but going into 2013, the team was supposed to be a lot better because they spent a lot of money. However, this was the Angels' biggest problem. They always made the most marketable decision rather than the best decision for baseball operations, which only resulted in the 2013 Angels to lose 11 games more than they did the year prior. As for Mike Trout, he only improved offensively with his bat. It seemed to be a season where the Angels absolutely wasted a prime Mike Trout, but 2014 would go a lot better for Anaheim, as they would finally make the postseason with Trout on a 98-win team. Trout would hit for a career high in homers with 36 of them. He also managed to win the Hank Aaron Award, another Silver Slugger, an All-Star MVP, and his first career regular season MVP, where he would win it unanimously. The team around him was also good, which meant that the postseason run was going to be very exciting, although it would be anything but that. Winning the division meant that they got to skip past the wildcard round, going straight into the divisional. Mike Trout would have an awful series, putting up one singular hit in 12 at-bats. And as far as for the team as a whole, they were unable to pick up for Trout's slack. And the worry about the team before the postseason even began was the lack of depth, and they would get swept in round 1 of the playoffs, ending their playoff journey. As for their future, it was about to be a lot worse than getting swept in the playoffs. 2015 Mike Trout dominated the league as usual. 46 homers, 299 average, and a new career high in total bases. But the team around him was even worse this time. 4 of the players in their starting lineup were considered well below average. Trout was the only player to have an OPS above 800. But not only that, his OPS was a whopping 991, damn near 1,000. The next closest OPS on the team was Albert Pujols, with a 787 OPS. This team would only win 85 games, and clearly most of them happened because of Mike Trout. 2015 would not be the only season like this, however. In 2016, he would win the MVP, but the team around him would finish with a 74-88 record. Clearly, this front office had no idea how to build around the face of baseball. 2017 would go just as poorly as you could have expected. Mike Trout began facing a thumb injury, and it held him to only 402 at-bats. Mixing that conflict with a bad team meant a bad season. 0 Angels players would be selected to the MLB All-Star Game because there was no one outside of Mike Trout. Albert Pujols was 37 years old by this point, being paid $26 million, and had a -2 WAR. Outside of hitting his 600th career home run, he seemed to be riding off of his last limb. So what did the Angels' future actually look like? It looked terrible. Ugly, bad. Not only was the farm system being labeled as the worst in baseball, but it was also being called arguably the worst farm system ever. However, as 2018 was approaching, they did finally make a good decision, signing Japanese star Shohei Ohtani. As the year went on, and 2019 came up, the pair practically turned into Batman and Robin. The only thing that could get in the way of this was Mike Trout hitting free agency. Trout would be requesting a mega contract, and the Angels were very well aware of that. So they offered Trout a mega extension, 2 years before he was supposed to even be a free agent. He would earn $430 million over the course of 12 seasons, which at the time was the biggest contract in sports history. But only if he understood that this would most likely be the worst decision in sports history. Not for the Angels, but for him. He would win the MVP in 2019, but yet again miss the playoffs. No matter what he did, this team just sucked. And it was now their 5th consecutive year with no postseason action. 2020 would be the same exact ordeal, with Mike Trout even saying on record, "I don't like losing." As he was approaching his age 30 season in 2021, questions had to be asked. Was anything actually going to change, or would his career be a complete waste? Overall, a lot would change in this season, because Shohei Ohtani would win an MVP unanimously with the goal of making it into a postseason with Mike Trout. But Big Mike would face his first major injury, which would hold him to barely 100 at-bats. This team would lose 85 games, going nowhere in October again. It was getting old. Every year was the same thing. 2022, it happened again. But the Angels organization would not be getting away with this for any time longer, because in 2023, Ohtani's contract was on its very final year, meaning that they would be forced to make an effort and attempt to start winning baseball games once again with Trout and Ohtani. At the MLB trade deadline, they were 56-51 and saw an opportunity to make a playoff push, so that's what they did. They would make aggressive trades, such as dumping their entire farm system for pitcher Lucas Giolito and first baseman CJ Cron. But the team would fall in the second half dramatically, leading to them releasing many of their trade deadline pieces. The team won 73 games in pathetic fashion. And yeah, I say pathetic because 2023 showed that Mike Trout took a major step down, and that they did, in fact, waste his career. Not to mention, Trout was about to be losing his sidekick Shohei Ohtani. Shohei had enough of the losing and wanted to actually win in his career. So he would sign a $700 million contract with the LA Dodgers and officially leave Anaheim. This left Mike Trout stranded with nearly no help around him. He knew the team was bad, so he tried to make the owner understand how bad it actually was.
You know, like I said, there's still some guys out there that can make this team a lot better, but
the Angels are currently 7-7 in 2024, and Mike Trout is so far dominating. Yet again, it will be another season wasted and down the drain.